Hello, this is Team 10 from the Human-Computer Interaction class. Our topic for the final presentation is Conversational Interfaces. So what is CUI? Conversational User Interface, also abbreviated as CUI, is a user interface that mimics human-to-human conversations. The idea here is that instead of communicating with a computer using inhuman terms like clicking on an icon or entering syntax-specific commands, you interact with it using spoken or written language. CUIs are broadly divided into two categories. Ones that respond to spoken language are called voice assistants, and the ones that respond to written language are called chatbots. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all have experienced a conversation with a CUI. It is commonplace to ask Siri, Apple's CUI, to perform numerous tasks on your behalf. Siri, that was launched in 2008, is used to set reminders or to get relevant information from the internet. It is used to make recommendations and perform actions by delegating requests to a set of internet services. It can also be used to check time in different countries or call someone in your contacts. Google's version of a CUI is Google Assistant. It has made incredible progress since its 2016 launch and is probably the most advanced and dynamic of the assistants out there. It almost behaves like a human assistant, available to you 24/7 and is ready to perform tasks for you. It is excellent in managing smart devices in your house, responding to generic queries, reading your notifications to you, and accessing information from your calendars. Now that we have looked at a couple of examples of voice assistants, let's switch over to chatbots. US government receives thousands of requests and questions every day related to US Army branch. Manually answering all of them can be an enormous task. The US Army uses the chatbot Sergeant Star to field questions from users and potential recruits about the military branch. Sergeant Star provides automated answers to routine questions, saving time and resources that can be applied to more critical mission tasks. For instance, it is estimated that Sergeant Star does the work of 55 human recruiters interacting with over 1,500 people every day. Here's another example. Slackbot is prepared to answer any question a user might have about using Slack. Not only can you send Slackbot a question via a direct message and receive an answer, you can also use Slackbot to set reminders for important dates and deadlines. We all need help when we are navigating a new website of a product that we are interested in using. Having a friendly chatbot on the homepage not only makes us confident in using the product, but also helps in answering any preliminary questions we might have about the company or the product. Let's take some newer examples. Spotify, an audio streaming platform, uses a Facebook chatbot to help users find playlists. The bot will ask the user what kind of music they are looking for, then provide them with suggested playlists they can scroll through. Or the user can search for specific songs, albums, or playlists. Sephora, we all know, a chain of personal care and beauty store, uses a similar chatbot to allow users to try on new looks, book a service, and share stored feedback. The Wall Street Journal, the one journal that we all rely on, uses a chatbot to share news and podcasts with users. The user is provided with several news topics, such as latest news or today's market once selected. The bot will then link to several recent articles related to that topic. The most relevant and latest example of a chatbot is the one created by WHO. In an effort to better inform the world about COVID-19, the WHO has launched a Facebook Messenger version of its Health Alert platform. It offers instant and accurate information regarding latest statistics, news, FAQs, and travel updates via Facebook's global reach. Coming to the point, CUIs are ubiquitous and are only going to improve and increase with applications over the years. Let's take a deeper look at how CUIs work.
So let's understand the functioning of a chat bot or a chat robot. It functions with the help of machine learning and natural language processing to come up with responses through a combination of predefined scripts and training data. In case of conversation where the chatbot doesn't understand, it deflects it to a predefined response or to a human operator if it's a service chatbot. Over time and with multiple conversations, the chatbot will learn and build its dataset to make its responses more relevant to the user. Over time, it will become more and more complex. That is, it will build itself and also the data that it can access. Another important aspect for a chatbot is its data. It needs to be trained with correct data to output the correct result, or else the responses would not be of any use. Therefore, the idea of gathering data becomes very important. So next time when Google is asking you to select traffic light or zebra crossing for a security clearance, do realize what you are helping with. So as computer scientists, to understand the complexities and limitations of conversational interfaces, it was very important for us to understand how they function internally. So we devised a chatbot that we have named Chatty that provides restaurant recommendations given location, time and number of people. We have used Amazon Cloud Services to do so. So let's check out its demo to understand its functioning. So the flow goes like this. After the greetings, the bot will ask us what sort of service it can provide us. We need to ask it for a couple of restaurant recommendations. Then the bot will ask for what sort of location we want. We can provide New York. Currently we have only set New York. It'll ask for cuisine, number of people, date and also time. Then it'll ask for a contact number where it can send the message to. Currently it's worldwide, so any number works. So I've given my number, and the end result something looks like this. So these are some Indian restaurants that the bot has recommended to us. This is how the architecture of the application looks like. So first we enter the request for recommendation on front end. This is sent to an AWS cloud service via an API gateway. This request is processed by our customized bot called Lex. Lex will apply natural language processing on input data and send the processed data to a Lambda service. This Lambda service will search data in its database, which is built using a Yelp API. This will process the request based on the user preferences like location and cuisine and send back the result via a message. Let me explain what Lex is. Lex is a tool provided by Amazon, which we have used in our application to train our chatbot to provide restaurant recommendations. It provides us means to train our chatbot with some of our own predefined input text in such a way that it performs tasks that we want. In our case, provide restaurant recommendation from around our area. Let me explain with the following example how it functions. Take for instance, we want to create a chatbot assistant to order flowers. We will train our chatbot for a couple of responses, like if a user asks for a question like, I would like to pick up flowers, the chatbot will respond what type of flowers, and etc. and etc. These responses we have set for a chatbot to behave in a certain manner. The bot will train itself with data that we provide with NLP algorithms to understand the context of a question and respond accordingly.
As we all know that, machine learning algorithm is part of the conversational user interface design. It not only helps users to normalize input-output features of the user interface, but also to collect it and store the data as well. Now we can take a look at the graph. Apparently we can see machine learning is one of the components of the UI design. This graph illustrates that machine learning is a driving factor of the conversational UI design, especially in the chatbot and voice user interface. The first image is about the chatbot, and this one is the user interfaces. A big question that remains is that how can machine learning be implemented into the UI design? First of all, machine learning can train the application to learn the data and use it to customize the user experience, as well as generate the final conversational user interface. For instance, a chatbot doesn't have to recursively ask the user's likes and dislikes. It automatically generates the user's preference table, which can facilitate the progress. On the other hand, machine learning can also utilize speech recognition techniques, allowing the user to interact with smart devices. One of the most commonly used applications is the virtual assistant Siri. This is a Siri. A reliable voice usage interface can parallel proceed thousands of schedules based on the voice command alone. Now, let's explore the voice user interface, which is part of the conversational user interface. The author Zhu also formalized the conversational interface flowchart in his paper, like this one. The spoken input is first processed through the speech recognition component. Then the natural language component, working in concert with the recognizer, produce a meaning representation. After this step, we'll check the language understanding section. If the information provided is insufficient or ambiguous, the system may choose to query the user again for the classification. For instance, when we use the Siri for Apple, if our expression is not clearly enough, the Siri may ask again. After this step, eventually, the information will be compared with the database and generate the feedback to the users. Despite so many advantages of the conversational interface, there are still some drawbacks about it. Thus, I will analyze on both sides. First of all, conversational interface can deal with multiple clients. Human can only serve for a limited number of customers at the same time. This restriction does not exist for the conversational interface, and it can manage all the necessary queries simultaneously. Secondly, an AI-based conversational interface is able to learn from interactions and update independently. This is one of the primary advantages. Third, the low cost. We all know that conversational interface eliminates the need for the labor during the online interaction with customers. With respect to the drawbacks, conversational interface requires users to articulate their need in every step, which is an unnecessary and potentially frustrating cognitive load. Some people may also believe that, in most user cases, clicking on an icon to trigger the process is way more efficient than having to say or type their intent. So the second part is insufficient for the complex process. Nielsen's research group found that both voice-only and screen-based intelligent assistants work well only for very limited and simple queries. In other words, conversational interfaces are efficient when the users know exactly what they want and know how to ask for it. But unfortunately, in our society, most of the customers are not clearly know their intent. According to the research data, around 83% of the shoppers need assistance during online shopping. A chatbot can assist them in choosing the best product in the shortest possible time. In addition, 92% of customers prefer to make easy payment using the same conversational interface platform. All in all, from our group's perspective, conversational interfaces are better than traditional interfaces because they reduce the friction in communication. People can easily communicate in the language they are most comfortable with, leading to a better user experience and increased sales.